The long-running rumor that Apple's slowing down iPhones? Well, it appears to be true after all. Hey you, it's me, Curtis P. It's time for some coffee. One of the biggest news stories to come out over the holidays had everything to do with how Apple is treating old iPhones, as the company has admitted to slowing down the older devices. Now, that might sound a little sinister at first, but let's dive deeper into why Apple thought this was a good idea. Back when iOS 10.2.1 was released to the public a year ago, some iPhone users were reporting issues where the phone was actually shutting down for an unknown reason. Well, it turns out the batteries on the older phones were just not outputting enough power for the processor to operate at peak performance, causing the phones to shut down unexpectedly when you opened like a big game or you tried to edit a video. So Apple's solution was to limit the processing power of the iPhone 6, 6S, SE, and the 7 devices so they wouldn't randomly shut down. Basically, your phone would work the same way here, just when you went to play like a game or edit a video or something else processor intensive, the phone wouldn't work as fast as it used to. So in essence, it's a pretty simple solution here. Users get to keep using their phones without bringing them into the Apple Store to get fixed, but the downside here is that they aren't as fast as they used to be. But of course, the big problem that a lot of people had was that Apple never actually told users they were doing this. And beyond that, they actually never told users when their battery was no longer good enough to perform at peak performance. So now an easy way to get your older phone to operate just as fast as it did when you first bought it is to switch out the battery. Bad news though, it costs about $79 to do that. Well, at least it used to. As of January 1st, Apple lowered the battery swapping price to $29, making it a little bit more affordable for users. So in the end, Apple's intentions were good, but their lack of communication with users, that's a little troubling here. But that's just what I think. What are your thoughts on Apple limiting the processing power of older phones so they don't randomly shut down? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. Jumping into the quick news for today, Samsung is under a little pressure surrounding the battery in the latest Note 8 smartphone, as some users are reporting issues when the phone runs out of power. Some users are reporting that when the Note 8 runs completely out of power, it's impossible to recharge and start up the phone again. Even after leaving the phone connected to the charger for many hours, the phone refuses to turn back on. Now, Samsung has said they are aware of the issue and they're working on a solution. So for the time being, best to not let your Note 8 phone actually die, because it might not be able to turn back on. But some good news for Android users, as the much-hyped HQ Trivia app is finally available on the Google Play Store, though only in a beta form. The company had announced that they were working to bring the highly popular iOS app onto the Android devices in the brand new year, and have now released the HQ Trivia app on the early access section of the Google Play Store. But a word of warning here before downloading, the product page does note that the app is potentially unstable, so use at your own risk. Snapchat looks to be planning on expanding their content outside of the app with a brand new Stories Everywhere announcement. The company may soon allow user content to be shared and posted outside of the standard Snapchat app. Now, Stories Everywhere is currently in its early development stage, but Snapchat hopes that this could help position their app as a great and easy way to post content online without the standard uploading system, as the company is said to be thinking about allowing third-party companies to access the Snapchat feed, similar to how Twitter allows third parties to create Twitter clients. And beyond that, Snapchat is also working on their brand new redesign, which is expected to roll out this year for more users. Bad news for Amazon Echo and Fire TV users, as Google has once again blocked access to YouTube on those devices. This has been a constant back and forth game between Amazon and Google over the past couple of months here. Google is blaming Amazon for all of this, saying that they're not selling the Google Home or the Chromecast devices on their online store, and thus they have blocked YouTube as a type of bargaining chip. But Amazon says Google is setting a dangerous precedent here, as their Fire TV and Echo Show both use the standard web view to show off YouTube, and Google is blocking the page in a direct attack on the open internet. So currently it's hard to say what will happen, but if you are an Amazon Echo Show or a Fire TV user, it may be some time until you can get to watch YouTube on your device again. And LG is already showing off some of their brand new tech headed to the Consumer Electronics Show this year, as the company has announced their new 88-inch 8K TV. The 88-inch 8K OLED TV is the biggest of its kind in the world. It has the largest and the highest resolution panel to date. Now, of course, LG is not new to the large-scale panel world, as the company is currently the sole provider for Sony, Panasonic, and LG TVs. And really, they're the only company still working on OLED panel technology. As Samsung announced last year, they were moving into the QLED technology for all of their TVs. Of course, CES kicks off next week, and I'll have full coverage of all of the fun new tech tech right here, so make sure you subscribe. Next up, Apple had a little fun Easter egg built into their Apple Watch products to help celebrate the brand new year. Users with the Apple Watch found a New Year announcement in their notifications, and tapping on it would show a fireworks display on their main watch face. It's a fun little Easter egg built into the device, and in case you missed it on your watch, you can check it out here. Keeping with the Apple Watch news, looks like Apple is still planning on working on a glucose reader for the device, but it could be a few years away from being released. Apple has been rumored to be working on a non-invasive continuous glucose reader for the Apple Watch for many years, and it all appears to have started with the late Steve Jobs, as he requested Apple's R&D department to build him a non-invasive glucose reader since he hated having to prick his finger every time he needed to do a reading. There are even some interesting rumors that Apple had plans to include the reader in the first generation Apple Watch, but they couldn't keep the device's size small enough, and the battery life was just horrible. And even now there are reports that Tim Cook has been seen walking around on the Apple campus with this type of device. He's said to be testing it out for everyday life use to see how that sort of works out. So overall, this could be a huge new area for Apple to move into, and I personally think the watch is like the perfect location for this. It's a device you always have on you, and it's in constant contact with your body, so it's the perfect fit for a monitoring device. Now again, this is all rumored to be years away here. Apple needs a little bit more time to actually work this all out, but in the end, if you can actually have this sort of monitor on your body at all times, it could lead to a much better healthy lifestyle for everyone. And last for today, I wanted to talk about the Surface Phone, something a lot of people think is dead, but the rumor mill is really heating up around this one, because it looks like Microsoft might be working on not only a phone, but a whole new type of device that could change the way that we think about mobile computing. From what I've read, it looks like Microsoft is trying to fit a PC into your pocket. The brand new patents show off a device the size of a smartphone, but it could fold out to be the size of a tablet, and then you could even connect it to an external keyboard or mouse to turn it into a laptop. This would be a game-changing device here, one device to do all of the things. It would not only be your phone, it would be your tablet and your laptop all in one. Microsoft is even rumored to be working on a brand new version of Windows 10, codenamed Andromeda, that would run on the device. And there's even been some sightings of the OS on the Microsoft Online Store in little bits and pieces. But of course, in the end, the device could suffer from the same issues as previous Microsoft phone attempts, which is the lack of developers and the lack of apps. Because if you don't have the apps, then people won't come to the platform. And without people on the platform, you're not going to get developers to make apps. So hopefully Microsoft can find a way to overcome that. Just personally for myself, I would love to test out a device like this. I've been using the iPad Pro more and more, like on the go, as my work device, because I just love it. The idea of the iPad is super simple, right? It's just super small. I got the keyboard connected. It's amazing. It's super small, super light, and it's super versatile to move. Keeping in mind I'm not doing any hardcore work on it, so that's kind of a thing. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit that like button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and join the notification squad so you can stay up to date on all of the latest videos I post throughout the week. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Paradis. Have an amazing day.